So everything from jejunum to large intestine just immediately exits at a velocity unknown to man.
I called the ED. I was like, guys, I'm coming. I'm dying. My wife puts me in the car. She starts driving like Max Verstappen.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Banter at the Bedside. I'm Kaylee, and today we have a very special episode for you because in healthcare, as in life, happens. Before we get into today's episode, just a reminder, we are healthcare professionals, but we're not here to provide any medical advice. If you need help, please see your medical provider. And our thoughts and opinions are our own. They don't represent any employer or organization. So let's get into it.
I love that. Does happen.
Was that good?
That was
I mean, it's
great.
not Gandhi, but I feel like it's a good close. All right, guys. So, one thing about working in healthcare that a lot of people don't understand or maybe don't want to talk about or are scared is how do we take care of patients when they poop? My kids, my daughter used to think she wanted to be a nurse like me, right? She thought it was great. And then after she heard me tell her like horror stories, she's like, yeah, no. She's like, I could never work as a nurse because I don't want to be cleaning up other people's poop. Um, and it's just one of those things that for us, it's just another day in the life, right?
Yeah.
It's just part of the job. We don't even think about it. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, but we do have to get creative from time to time. And I want to hear some funny stories. What's your
I just want to say, I feel like everyone's like, I would be a nurse, but it's always the poop. Like, it's
Yeah.
either poop or blood. And I'm like,
that's the least of it.
there's so much worse out there than
Mhm.
poop and blood to deal with in healthcare. Like,
Truly.
me, it's teeth. Can't do teeth. Your teeth, teeth coming out even of a child as in in nursing school made me almost pass out. And like they're supposed to come out. It was an age appropriate tooth falling out. And I was like, can't do it. I'd rather clean up so many more patients than ever touch a tooth again. And this is why I hand off all my intubations unless they are toothless. And then I'm like, I got it.
Oh,
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just being nice. Like,
No, it's self-preservation. When I came back from COVID and I was like, probably shouldn't have been back after having a bad round of COVID, I went to intubate someone and I was already so unsteady on my feet and I was like forced to do it. They're like, you can't hand it off. And I touched the tooth and I instantly like stomach dropped, started getting dizzy. As soon as it was done, this is how bad it made me feel. I went and laid on the bathroom floor of the hospital.
That's a Code Brown
Abby.
situation right there.
That's
Oh my God.
how much I would rather never touch someone's teeth. I was like, okay, I maybe need to go home. Like, I'm maybe not ready if I'm laying on the bathroom floor of the hospital bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
So
All right.
poop is the least of my concern.
But also, who cares more about poop than we do? Like, we want to make sure you're pooping. It's a big deal for us in the hospital. Like, you're pooping, you're peeing, things that like people don't think about every single day. We have to think about that every single day. So it's a big part of it.
Yeah. They're admitted. The first order that pops in is a collation to be relaxed. Like,
Always.
thanks, guys.
That's me.
Having poop by day 2, we're going to add on 2 Senecots.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Always. But
Yeah.
nothing makes you feel better when you're sick than just having a good poop.
It could
Just
change a
letting
lot.
it all out. It can
That's
change
true.
a lot.
Change a lot.
Very true.
It could get you off the vent.
It can.
Yeah. To that level.
That could be the difference in staying in the hospital or getting discharged after you've had surgery.
Happens all the time. I hadn't pooped. You got to stay.
And you can't just do it. We have to see it.
Yep.
You can't just
Yeah.
tell
Don't lie to me. I'm going to know if you pooped.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me see it.
We gotta
Let me-
get the
I'm gonna
description.
go in the bathroom and get a. Nah, this isn't a poop bathroom.
No.
I
Mm-mm.
I will also say I can't smell C. diff though. That's like my superpower.
You can't?
I cannot. I like it does not smell different to me. I faked it for years. People would be like, it smells like C. diff, and I'd be like, yeah, you're right.
But you could
This
smell a
is
GI bleed.
oh, I can
You
smell a
can't
GI
smell
bleed.
C. diff,
I
Addie.
no, no, it's my superpower. So like C. diff patients like never bothered me because I'm like I faked it for so many years. I'd be like, yeah,
That part of your olfactory nerve isn't developed to differentiate a C. diff
Interesting.
poop.
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel like
jealous.
that's more protective for me than not protective.
I mean, it's not an essential skill. You're good.
No.
There's a test for that.
Yeah.
But do you trust other people when they say that they can?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's
Okay.
evidence out there that shows an experienced nurse can smell C. diff, except me.
Yeah, I think you can tell a lot about a patient by their poop.
I'm
Yeah.
very poop aversive, so as soon as I see that, I'm usually out of the room pretty quick, which is not
Yeah.
good. Yeah, but
Yeah.
guilty.
Yeah. I do get to say that. It is like now I'll help clean up. I really don't mind. But when I don't have to, I do love to be like, I've got too many student loans. I don't have to help clean up anymore.
Hey, don't apologize. You've been to school. You're beyond that. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You did help with that exorcism level 1 in 48 that one time.
Oh, where it was like everywhere.
That guy, the family member came out and went, I think her poop and pee bag exploded.
I'll help when necessary.
No, it was just a ugh, keep dropping myself. It was just a death, I mean, there wasn't anything.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one. Caitlin, explain to people out there who may not know, what's a death?
Well, it's when your body's fully given up on taking care of itself. So everything from jejunum to large intestine just immediately exits at a velocity unknown to man. I mean, it's just
So, like, what kind of patients do you see coming in with death?
cardiac arrest that were down for a good amount of time, and or the people that it's just most of your cardiac arrests, not really your respiratory arrest unless it led to an extensive cardiac arrest, but any of your cardiac arrests that were down for a good amount of time and their gut just didn't get good blood
Perfuse.
flow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everything from the bottom sphincter of that stomach to rectum
Mhm.
just, and you can tell. You can tell. It's just
Mm-hmm.
we got one off of the helicopter, and we were like, why are there so many blankets on this patient? It's so understanding. And the person who was pushing them into the room was like, I can't. What is like, you're experienced paramedic, like you're in charge of this shit. He's like, I can't. They'll help you move them over. I was like, okay, all right, whatever. So then we go to pull the blankets off to, try to get them over to the bed. And you quickly found out while the blankets were there is because the patient had unfortunately had an extensive downtime and had death conveniently in the helicopter where you can't even open up a window. uh, so, that one was pretty bad. That one required, 2 masks and some toothpaste in between. That was a rough one.
Mm-hmm.
We had another one where it was a oncology patient and the family was trying to do herbal remedies, and I've never smelled a bowel movement like that. I rarely gag over bowel movements, and that one, just thinking about it, it just I don't know what was wrong. I don't know what was wrong with that. And I can suck them up with a yonker with the best of them and it not bother
Yeah.
me. But that one was ungodly. I don't even. Ugh. I had to walk out. I couldn't be in the
So
room.
did
And
you have to find the key and open up the window?
yeah, we did. We did.
Yeah.
And that was actually the same patient where they were a DNR. And then when the family came up, they proceeded to run their own code on their family member. And the cops
Oh,
had to get involved. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
fun
And
times.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the cops do respond to other people, not just you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait, what?
We had the discussion, done post-mortem care, and I'm like in the little sliver of the window by the door, you could see the bed go tick, 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 tick. You're like, oh my God. And they were just trying to beat her back after 45 minutes past her time of death. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bag in the trach, and then they had the T piece up there, so she wasn't actually getting oxygenated. I mean, she wasn't anyway because she was dead. But
Yeah, the herbal stuff and like
oh,
when you walk into neuro ICU and every patient's on fish oil.
they've stopped
That
that. They don't do that anymore. No fish oil and
thank God.
Prozac,
Well, thank God.
but they still have neuro breath.
I worked in neuro, and maybe my sense of smell just isn't good. I cannot smell the fish oil poop either.
You're just
You just
desensitized to it. I feel like as
yeah.
soon as I darkened the door over there, I'm like, God, it's like the whole
Can't smell it.
unit.
Well, I
Can't
can't say
smell
they
it.
don't. I just haven't had to give it on night shift over there.
I also like the neuro breath smell. I thought that's just what hospitals smelled like. It wasn't until I had worked in CICU for a couple years after working in neuro for so long that then we had a real neuro breath, and I was like, oh, is this
Yeah.
what they mean? I was like,
Yeah.
this is just the hospital.
No.
I
God. It's death among us.
was
I
like,
think
Ferocious.
the worst
Mm.
that I've ever experienced was we had a patient or two who had ingested some
yeah.
poisonous material, and I mean that's like the most noxious thing I have ever experienced. Like that was terrible for days and days and days. I mean, I don't even remember what it was, but they were essentially had eaten something and it had poisoned them. There was something in there and it was terrible.
That's the one where the nurse wrote in the note the BP oil spill, right?
Yes. Yes. The nurse made an extremely inappropriate comment in her note talking about that it smelled something like an oil spill. I mean, it
Right.
did. It smelled like noxious chemicals and it was horrible.
Yeah. I think my worst experience was when I was in the nursing home, and not because of how what I had to do, but because I truly understood gravity after this situation. At 18,
Newton's
I'm
law,
like,
just
yeah, I got it. I was like, who needs an apple to fall from the tree?
That
You
guy.
could just
You see she run off the bed.
no. So we had this resident, and this was, I guess it was maybe 19, because I had moved up to nurse tech. So I was allowed to give meds and do more, and we had a resident, and due to his condition, he 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I had to give him a suppository on the shower chair and then come back every 15 minutes for an hour and help disimpact him. But he would be on a shower chair where the bottom's cut out, and I would have to get this to
No.
No,
get it
No.
out.
You couldn't
It's
uppercut it?
no, because
Abby.
you had to use the gravity. But the second time, I think the first time I did it, my trainer was there, so it was fine. But the second time, I'm this. I'm really in there trying to get everything. And that's how I learned gravity, because it got all over my scrubs.
Abigail, you didn't have on protective gear?
No, I was in a nursing home. There was no protective gear.
They don't even have isolation gowns?
They do, but that's for true isolation. Not
Isolate yourself from the
dum-dums.
Oh my God.
Not dum-dums that just are like, let me get in there and
What
just
what a good tech you were
yeah. And
to
I was like,
sacrifice yourself to
You
do
can't-
that.
and of course I was in nursing school. I was so excited to be a tech. I got to pass meds, so I was like, I get to give the suppository.
You're so excited.
I was so excited, and I was
And it
like,
broke you.
I was like, oh, and they were like, we didn't think we had to explain to you to like stay out of the splash zone.
No,
And
you
I
were
was
doing
like,
it like an oil change. You know.
yeah, I was all up in there. And that continued. I learned how to maneuver without getting in the splash zone, but yeah, 3 times a
Yeah.
week for 3 years I did that. And then when I got like promoted to the hospice side, I thought I would be done, but the resident didn't like the new tech that came on. So they still made me go and do it. And I was like,
You're too good at your job.
I was too
Yeah.
good at pulling it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I learned how gravity worked. 3
You
times
gotta
a
stay out of
week.
the line of fire. That's what I tell the nurses when we're cleaning up patients.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't go right there.
And so that's when I'm also
right
like,
there.
when I order suppositories all the time and nurses are like, I'm like, I still have so many suppositories that I've given more than anyone else.
Yeah.
I want to hear it, because I learned how gravity worked from giving a suppository.
Suppository's nothing. It's fine.
And it's
So
nothing.
my worst story, also a true story. When I was an intern, I kind of knew I wanted to do critical care early, and but the seniors wouldn't let you run the codes, because there we had like code teams that would actually show up in locations. So it was like 3rd month of my intern year, and there was a code somewhere onto the floors. It was a medicine patient. So I'm like, I'm going to get there first. And I know the patient. This patient couldn't poop, and we were slamming them. That's exactly what you were talking about, Caitlin. 2 Senecots, Miralax, whatever you can think of, lactulose, and they finally were about to have this movement, okay? So we hear a code blue. So I'm like, this is my chance to run the code. So I outrun my senior. My senior's like, what are you doing, man? You're not going to run this code. But I'm like, nope, doing it. So outrun her, get there, first person on site. She's in the bathroom. So she finally got up from bed, went to the bathroom, takes a massive again, this is maybe where I learned about gravity too. I mean, overflowed everywhere. Seizure, falls down. So we start the code in the toilet. So there's a lot of on the toilet, and there's a little trail onto the ground. So here I am, pumping away, trying to order meds, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. I do 2 rounds. I was so excited at that time. There's no way I could do 2 rounds now. So my senior pulls me off, right? And she's like, Haas, we got this. So while I'm standing there, it smelled like think about the whole story. So I'm trying to run the code, and the anesthesia resident is trying to intubate the patient. I flushed the toilet. And everybody just looked at me as if I did something wrong. Meanwhile, I was doing everybody a favor. Wouldn't you want that? But it was just the flush in between the pulse check time that just threw everybody
hit it
out.
probably like at the right side.
It was perfect timing. It was a pulse check, and then all they hear is a flush, and then everybody just took a look at me, and I thought I did them a favor. But that was, I guess I was remediated for that. But yeah, anyways, that became a really funny story that I had. So
they were like, please remember your ABCs for
Right.
prioritization.
They're like, pulse check.
Flush.
flush.
Yeah, that's right.
I would have appreciated it.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it was the right move
I
for the
thought you were going to
scenario.
say it overflowed because it was so full,
Yeah.
and I was
No,
like,
no,
okay,
no.
okay.
That
Yeah,
would have
a
been
flush would have been
perfect.
a flush would
Yeah.
have been appreciated. Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
I would have appreciated a flush, but maybe they were like, you got here first. You're running the code. You probably shouldn't be focused on
But that's all I
that.
could think about. I was just waiting to like, when can I flush this toilet? Because it stank in there. Like you had to move this shit. Yeah. It just happened to coincide with the pulse check, and that's it. The patient made it.
Happens.
Goodness.
Oh.
I to bounce back to the GI bleeds. I can smell a GI bleed. But
Mhm.
the most recent GI bleed, or smells like GI bleed but doesn't look like a GI bleed, or doesn't smell like a GI bleed but looks like a GI bleed story, Caitlin?
You got to narrow it down. I'm so traumatized.
The
Not the orient.
yeah,
Oh no. Oh no.
that was that's commitment though.
Do we tell it? Do we out this? Well, we won't say names.
No, I think they were just trying
to be really
to
good.
see if they could figure that
To figure out the smell.
the smell.
For you, since you don't know, the patient had some type of blood on their pad under them in the bed, and the orientee was dedicated enough to try to figure out, is this GI bleed, or maybe because the patient was still of the age of having a menstrual cycle, maybe it was that. And as dedicated as he was, picked up the pad and took a big long whiff to figure out where it could have come from.
What did he determine?
How was he going to tell?
You know, I think that's the confidence of a white man to think that they would know the difference between a GI bleed and a menstrual cycle.
Well,
it takes a certain level of confidence, and I think that's what it is.
I did ask them, because I heard this story like literally the next day, and I asked them right away. I was like, but you don't know what it smells like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how would
GI
you know?
bleed smells like. So what did you think you were going to get if the experienced nurse is like, doesn't smell like a GI bleed?
Yeah.
He was like, I really don't know.
That's
funny.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna be great, but maybe should not sniff pads on the regular and let people know that he's done it. Or we're gonna judge him forever for it.
I will probably judge him forever for it. Out of love.
Yeah.
I also feel like they come in waves. Like you get one GI bleed admission, and then it's 2, and then it's 3, and then there's no blood left in the blood bank. Like I just feel like that's how it usually is. They come in waves. I think we'll all probably agree that they could be some of the sickest patients that you have, because once you lose them, they get to that part of the Frank Starling curve, ain't nothing going to save them at that time, no matter how much blood you put it in. So yes, a lot of funny side things and really good stories to them, but also these patients can be sick, really, really sick.
They can be really sick, and they can. It's so traumatic because, like, all of the GI bleeds that I've had that have been very, very sick, it's like we have to do the massive transfusion protocol. We're going to CT, and then we're going to VIR, and it's like, it's just bad because it's like time is of the essence, and you're trying to do so many things at once. You're giving all the blood products, and everywhere you go, you're leaving a trail of blood, and you can't clean them up. And
were any of you there when me and Ed were putting in the Blakemore into that patient in CICU? Were any of you there? No? Okay. I'll leave that for a different day.
possibly.
I stepped out.
Blakemores.
I was showing the orientees yesterday the Blakemore helmets.
Yeah.
They were like, "Why do we have football helmets?" I was like, "Let me show you."
Yeah.
Let me teach you.
They're like, "You put these on?" I was like, "Yes, you did." But
Uh-huh.
yeah, GI bleeds are sick. I feel like conveniently whenever the MICU is full, it's always a wave of GI bleeds that come
Yeah.
in.
Conveniently though.
Conveniently,
I don't know how that
sure.
happens.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
I
I'm
don't know how
sure
that
they
happens.
don't get a list of patients needing to come, and
No, I don't think that's it at all.
I am a firm believer though that like in the divisions of the ICUs, like every ICU should be able to take care of a GI bleed,
Mhm.
take care of status epilepticus, and be able to identify and escalate a STEMI. Like I think
That's basics.
that's basics of
Basics.
ICU care. So it sucks, and unfortunately, we do get our own in the cardiac ICU because all of them are on anticoagulation.
Yeah,
Like
that's
10
right.
forms of anticoagulation. It's
Right.
not, yeah.
Uh-huh.
3 pills, 2 IVs, and they're like, also add DVT prophylaxis. I was like, really? This guy?
Yeah.
And then you have them on a good bowel regimen. So when it
That's right.
happens,
Mm-hmm.
it's just all
To an
coming together.
exorcism level.
Don't you love it?
Exorcism level, yeah. I mean,
But also, what a good opportunity to talk about just regular bowel habits. Like, I think having a regular bowel regimen as like, bowel habits as a regular person is so important. And that you should see your provider, by the way, disclaimer, if you're not having regular bowel movements, okay?
I'm a woman, so I don't go to the bathroom.
So you're just stuck between this constipation / explosive phase.
No. Yeah. I mean, I think I read somewhere like you're supposed to have one for every meal that you have. So the day before, but since we've
What?
taken 5, yeah.
I did when I ate like trash, and then I started eating healthy, and I'm like, how do you explain that to a GI doctor that like when I ate like I went regularly, and now that I eat so much better, I
The point
couldn't
of
tell
fiber.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta take your fiber
There's a lot of
supplement.
fiber in Cheetos and Lay's turkey chips. Oh, no. I have a feeling when you created this specific title for the podcast, you wanted me to tell a certain story.
That tickles me every time.
So I had a patient that had a balloon pump, and they can't get up and go to the bathroom when they have a balloon pump. And you just kind of got to lay flat there and hit the call bell. And I walked in there, and he went, I think I went to the bathroom on myself. Okay, that's fine. That's no problem. Whatever. And then as we're turning, I'm like, I really don't smell anything. I don't see anything. And then we've turned him all the way. And there, in the middle of this completely white pad, is the smallest little log
Turd.
of poop that's just there. And I'm sitting there thinking, you think you went to the bathroom? Your heart rate changed when you pushed this out. You know you went to the bathroom. Like you felt it. I didn't say anything, but it took everything in me not to just bust out laughing because I was expecting this just like pile of diarrhea. And then we turn this individual, and it is just like this perfectly preserved little trinket of poop just right in the middle of this perfectly white pad. And I'm like, yeah, you did go. You you worked this one out. Like you should have just said, yeah, shit bed. Like not I think I went to the back. No, your vital signs changed with this poop. Like you worked it out. That was the funniest. It was just so I mean, it was so perfectly preserved. You could have just grabbed it off the pad. It didn't even leave a mark. No skid, no nothing. It was just a I don't know.
Probably went to war to get that thing out though. That
Oh,
preserved
yeah.
that was a push. That was a
I'm
push.
gonna hit the button and go, I think I went to the bathroom. Okay. No, you you did. You know you did.
What's one of the things I don't know if like people in the public know, but if you're in the hospital and like especially if you're in the ICU, like I mean, obviously you can't get up. Very rarely can our people get up to the bathroom or even like a
Mhm.
bedside commode. So it's using the bedpan or going on a pad. But we do have containment devices for people with
Mhm.
diarrhea or constant liquid stools, or to to help with like skin preservation and stuff.
Mhm.
And whenever I talk about that, like with people who don't know, they're like, "Excuse me?"
Mhm.
I'm like, "Yeah, it's
Oh,
like a
yeah.
rectal. We call it a rectal tube, but it could be a Flex Seal or different brands or whatever." Like, what do you mean? I'm
FMS,
like,
yeah.
you put a tube into the patient and you blow up a balloon so it stays in there and it'll drain it. And they
Mhm.
are horrified.
Oh,
And I was like, "You're
yeah.
not awake." I was like, "We won't do it if you're awake, but it's
That's
like for those patients
No,
instant DNR.
they
if
did
they're
do that
sedated."
Right away.
on an awake patient the other day that we got from an outside hospital
No,
that every
no.
time they turned the patient at the outside hospital, he would go into VFib. So they said, "We're going to fix this right now." Just put a retinal tube up this wonderful gentleman who was completely awake.
Oh my
No.
God.
That's not
yeah,
what you
yeah,
do.
yeah.
That
No,
you
no,
shouldn't. You should
no.
not do that.
Don't do that.
We got him, and we were like, "Why do they have a rectal?" They didn't said nothing about it in report. We're like, "Oh, world!" And then we go to turn to skim swarm and figure out why we have a rectal tube, and he went, I mean, it was just almost immediate. We're like, "Oh, that's why they have the rectal tube in this perfectly awake man."
But that's when you like intubate and
Yeah.
sedate to
Yeah.
control the arrhythmias. You're
Yeah.
not just like,
But that's really funny though. I gotta give them
Yeah.
credit. That's
No, we
we're
really
like,
fixed the
good.
problem. Don't
It's the
worry.
outside
Yeah.
hospital. We can't do much, but
No.
what we can do is put a rectal
Yeah.
tube.
But little do you know, we still have to do a skin form, so it didn't matter.
did
Honestly,
it say
Skin
That's a
form or
five.
death.
That's a
That's your
5-star
only
rating.
option.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Yeah,
5
yeah.
stars.
They're like, we're gonna set them up for success. Yes, yes, they'll be so appreciative of this. You know that
They're going
you
to
know that was
love
the
us.
top. I'm like, oh yeah.
Was the man
This is
traumatized?
good.
Was he as
No,
traumatized
because
as he could
he
be?
was in and out of just
Well-
like being perfectly awake and then being half dead.
They probably put it in
After.
when he was half dead, so
Yeah.
he wouldn't
But
have
can you
known.
imagine waking up and you're like,
What's in my
What's
is
butt?
in
there
my-
something in my butthole? No. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
we
he just
had a
needed
time.
to be switched.
We had a time where our providers wouldn't order them,
No, I hate them.
I don't.
and that they were on like a no rectal tube train. Like it didn't matter. It didn't matter. And it's like I know that some nurses or people will maybe be a little lazy, and the patient has one liquid bowel movement. We need a rectal tube, but they really are there for a reason, and it is a good thing to have, and it's a good resource. With the
When they
appropriate
work.
patients.
When they work.
When they
When
work,
they
and
work.
when you use them appropriately.
Mhm.
This is my biggest issue. Okay. I, one, was never given a rectal tube, so I will say, like, maybe that's bad of me as a nurse practitioner, but, like, when I was bedside nurse, my hospital went on a ban, like, the surgeons had to put it in because we had so many, ruptures.
Mhm.
So I'm kinda like, if I can do it, you can do it, which I know isn't always the most positive, but what really bothers me is if you're telling me that they need a rectal tube and then you don't chart the outs of it, I'm
Mhm.
pulling it. If
Mhm.
if you're saying that they're going so much that you need a rectal tube and you have 0 charted for bowel movements for 48 hours, you're not getting it, or if it's in, I'm pulling it because, like, I should be getting outs then. Like, you should at least be documenting occurrences.
Mhm.
Like, give me the documentation to prove it.
Mhm.
But that's what bothers me and then I feel like they get left in and they get put in and left, and people just la-di-da, forget about them.
Mhm.
I don't like them. I would just as soon clean somebody up all the time than have to do it. Because, I mean, they're like, it's hit or miss. It's like 50-50. Sometimes they work great, and then sometimes it's just the anatomy or how they've been placed, and you try to reposition it. I would just as soon just clean
You
them
know,
up.
you know what else is our problem as ICU folk is that we don't have any prospective thoughts. Ever since I went into this more director crap stuff, the things that we do to people in the ICU later in their hospital course, they're disasters. Like, forget just about rectal tubes and perforations and loss of tone and function and what they have to deal with for the rest of their life for those 3 days that they had that rectal tube inside the unit. Even lines, like you put in lines for people, especially our fem lines and all this other crap, and the amount of clots that they have posed, the amount of times that vascular has to intervene, it's so many things that we do that we don't realize because, hey, once they downgraded and out, right, we've done our piece of it, but that leads on. I'm actually not a fan of tubes at all. I know there's scenarios where we put them in and they have to be in, but I think we all know that one person. There's that one poop and they're lazy and they don't want to turn and they want to clean, and sometimes they put it in without asking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Another topic.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hardly ever ask for them, but when I do, just
Uh-uh.
know they
It's,
they
I
need
mean
it.
it.
But when you
'Cause I
ask,
don't
then
even
you
like
mean
'em.
it, right?
Right.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying because I don't very often, or I feel like I don't
Yeah.
very often.
Yeah.
Like
Uh-uh.
we had a patient that came in, I don't know, recently, but I mean immediately upon arrival, the nurse practitioner was trying to come in. I was like, we need a rectal tube," and she kind of saw my face and she walked in and she was like, "Yeah," like that was all it took, because it was
Mhm.
that bad. But that's very rare.
Yeah. You definitely want to be that person that's like there's people like when you ask, I know like, oh, it's probably needed. And then there's others where I'm like,
Mm.
let me
Yeah,
see it.
because I don't even. It's not like I like cleaning patient stuff, but I don't mind. I like having my patients clean. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
mostly off my back to
Mhm.
clean them up. I'm like, yeah, I'll get their pads straight. I'll straighten out their sheets. Like it's not a big deal. So
Mhm.
Does
Mhm.
it's just
it ever like, just so people know, like, are you ever frustrated with a patient when you have to clean them up or they have a bowel movement?
it's not with the patient. I mean, they
No.
cannot help it. Everybody
Right.
poops. I mean, if I had to be in a bed and someone had to deal with that, like I would hate it for them. But no, it's not their fault, and that's just part of our job. I think it's I think the patients feel like they're losing their autonomy, they're losing their dignity, they have no privacy. And I
Mhm.
think we really do try. I hope we try to be sensitive to that because
Yeah.
it is just part of our job. And I think we don't even think about it. So,
Oh my
No.
God, red
Yeah.
flag. Did you guys see that on social media? That dude, he won a really big lawsuit because he was going through a colonoscopy, just since we're talking about poop,
yeah.
but he wasn't fully under, and they were making fun of him,
Hmm.
the patient, while they
Ooh.
were doing the entire procedure. And I
Hmm.
think it's been like 20 years this case has been ongoing. Don't quote me on the years yet, but he got a big payout because he heard how the providers were speaking about him when he was going through a colonoscopy at that time. So it's just, man, sometimes you gotta. And another scenario, which I really like what you said, Kaylee, is that it is really not the patient's fault until you have a family member or you're a patient, heaven forbid, that's lying down in that bed and you just need that help and you want your dignity. Nobody wants
Hmm.
to be sitting there. So obviously, we're also so privileged in the ICU with our nursing ratios that people can get some of that care. Like, I feel really bad for some of our floor nurses that have 6 patients and 3 of them are incontinent.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It could be an absolute disaster. I'm sorry I brought that up because I read that a few days ago and I was like,
Yeah, I
this
saw
guy
that.
heard everything that they said about homie.
But you shouldn't be
Yeah.
saying anything.
No, that's what I'm trying to say is why
Yeah,
are you
like,
even saying these things, right? Like,
And also, you're doing a colonoscopy. Isn't that your whole job?
mhm,
Like, making fun of
mm-hmm.
what?
yeah. What are you saying?
I don't
Right.
know. But no,
That's
I mean, it's not their fault. They can't help it. And we're usually the ones who are saying, no, you can't get up. Like,
Right.
Mhm.
Mhm.
so,
And we're the
you
ones
know,
pumping them full of bowel
yeah.
mints to make them
Mhm.
go, or
Yeah.
tube feeds to make them
Mhm.
go.
Yeah.
Ugh, tube feeds.
I will say there was one time I got frustrated with a patient and their bowels. And that patient is here.
Oh boy.
Oh, yes.
It's not
I
me.
guess.
It's
I
not
don't think it.
I guess.
The
I guess
one
it's time. It's
exception.
time. I guess it's time to All right, because we love you as an audience, and Abby didn't even tell me she was going to bring this up, so this is off the cuff. Okay, I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can about this story. Kind
I'll
of goes back
correct
to what
you.
we're please. Okay, so it kind of goes back to having regular bowel movements, and I think we can say, in the gender roles of males, we're probably a bit more sensitive if we don't have a bowel movement. So a few months ago, I had come to the hospital and I was insanely constipated. Like my day cannot get started unless I have, my coffee has led to my morning movement, and so I can come and think and take care of patients. It's just honesty.
Wow. I mean, the things you have to worry about.
Yeah, right.
How do you make it?
Not getting kids off to school.
Yeah. Not.
The horror.
It was
Sorry.
It was horrific for me. Okay, so
And me.
Everything's relative.
unfortunately, yeah. So Abby's one of my confidants at work, so I'm kind of like telling her, hey, I'm not really like feeling well.
I'm also the
Oh my God. I'm
the
just
APP.
realizing what you're about to talk about.
I'm the APP on. We're on the little team. It's just me and him.
It's just
too.
us
He's
two.
like,
Oh my
he's
God.
like, she's my confidant. No,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
also the only one there.
Okay. So I'm like, I'm not feeling well, and like I'm seeing, and it's just not working. And but like it's 12 o'clock, and I haven't had my lunch. And you guys know I like try to have lunch around 11. So and that day I had brought really spicy pasta. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have another coffee. Our CICU coffee that's right there. So I had some more bean water, and just the stomach pain kind of started to get worse. And this is when I realized it is that I burped into my mask. Do you remember, Abby? I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it smelled like, and we all know that. To me, I'm like, I have a bowel obstruction. I'm like, this is all that it is. I have a bowel obstruction. Nobody's believing me here right now, but
Me.
I'm obstructed. Okay. It was mainly, I mean, like, why are you not believing me? She's like, you're fine. Like, here, try some Tums. Okay. Actually, no, it was the fellow. So I ate this really.
The
Sorry,
fellow
go ahead.
gave you a Zin.
No, wait, we'll get to that. No,
No.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, so I'm like, you know what? Spicy food really helps. And my wife and I like to eat really spicy food. So we had made this spicy pasta the night before. And I'm like, I'm just going to warm this up and eat it. So I add to my GERD sensation and this burping smell, I add on really spicy rigatoni. Okay. Nothing
Lord.
happens. Then the fellows finish from rounds and they come in and I'm telling them, I'm like, hey, I don't feel well, blah, blah. So he gave me a Tums and he gave me some other crap. And then one of my other fellows, he's like, do you know what's going to make you And I was like, what? Like, I was willing to do anything. I did like all of my medical training, supposedly a specialist, all flew out the window. Okay. Because I was convinced I had a bowel obstruction.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, this will work for you. He's like, put his Zin in a little upper decky. I was like, what the hell is an upper decky? But
That checks
that
out.
fellow's usually got 2 upper deck, 2 lower deck. I had no idea what these upper deck, lower decks meant, right? He's like, just one of the upper decky. And I was like, that is such a white dude thing to say, right? So I'm like, but that's where I was. I was willing to do anything. And I'm like, you know what, nicotine, yeah, that usually moves things forward. I'm like, that'll be good. So I put a little bit of upper decky, and that's when things took a turn for the worse, okay? I vasodilated. Okay. I felt now way worse. My heart rate went up, and I'm like, this is it. Like, I'm going downstairs to the ED. Okay. Now Abby's watching this whole thing kind of play out. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I'll give my side.
Okay. So now I'm really not feeling good. And like, I'm still burping this wretched smell. Right. I'm like, maybe I can be the one that goes home early today. Okay. But before I left, I kind of like checked the schedule to see who's on in case something like really happened. That was kind of bad for me. Okay. So I pack my stuff and I leave. I get home and my wife's an intern at this time still. And I'm starting to having these severe stomach cramps. Like, those, I'm like, and my arm went numb. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I'm having an MI. I have an acute bowel obstruction. My gallbladder just perforated.
Okay, women, D.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But think about it. When this is all in your
Panic.
head, right? Yeah. So
Right.
I panic. And I called the entire hospital. I called the night attending. I'm like, I'm coming in. Prepare a bed. Get the ECMO machine. Okay, I'm dying. I called the ED. I was like, guys, I'm coming. I'm dying. My wife puts me in the car. She starts driving like Max Verstappen. Okay. gets me downstairs to the ED. The ED providers see me and they're like, oh my God, right? So they pull me into the back, and this is where the story gets a little bit better. So one of the residents who's going to be my fellow one day, he sees me, he's like, oh my God, it's Khaleesi. I gave them the differential. I'm like, this is what's happening. Right, so he came and he pushed on my belly with the attending. He goes, oh yeah, man, we got to get you through the scanner. And my luck, to make my story sound better, I had a massive emesis event right there. Okay. Like the whole ED smelled it. And I'm like, there it is. I'm obstructed. The pasta, the Tums, the Zin, all that stuff just came out projectile. So now the ED staff gets worried. Okay. They're like, oh my God, maybe something is wrong with this guy. Right. So this is also the first time that I ever got to get a dose of ketamine. So they're like, we got to get him through the scanner, but I was like wincing in pain, right? So they gave me a dose of ketamine and I just went to outer space, right? So I go to outer space and I go through these scans and all this stuff. And then I wake up a few hours later. But the funny part about that is that people saw my name on the ED board. So some of our friends and providers started calling. So they had to put in parentheses, he is okay. So that after all these hours, the resident came to me and then he gives me the CT scan report and my discharge papers. And all it said was severe constipation. And that's my story
Wow.
where I almost died.
You
Okay.
barely made it out alive.
God, it's a miracle you're here with us today.
Yeah.
A true
Honestly,
survivor.
I thought I was dead. Like the numbness, the belly pain, like that. It's just there's
I
too
would
much
like-
going on, you know.
I
The
would like
Zen
to
that
provide
didn't
Us on a
help.
random Tuesday.
Right. I would like to provide a different perspective, though, of someone doing something stupid repeatedly over and over and over.
Yes. Let's hear this from Abby's point of view, because I have so many comments.
This, mind you, is starting at like 8 a.m. We're rounding at 8 a.m. and he's like, Abby, it smells like poop. And I'm like, when's the last time you went? Yesterday. Oh, okay.
Oh
So
my God.
I'm like, he's like, I have an obstruction. It's an obstruction. I'm like, do people get obstructed in 24 hours? Like, what have you been doing? I was like, unless you have like twisting or you have like colon cancer, are you high risk for colon cancer? No. Okay, probably not an obstruction. Like, you just, so
I was convinced though.
he was convinced. So we start walking. I'm walking him around the duck pond like a child.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she took him for a walk.
That's right. That's right. You took me for a walk.
I took him for a
Like you do
walk.
for a dog, you know?
We
Yeah.
kept
Yeah.
going we got some coffees.
Caitlin.
The downfall started with the spicy pasta, which I said, I don't think that's what you should eat. I think you should wait to really eat until you have a bowel movement, especially
You
if
need
you
to be
think you're
drinking some water.
right.
Mhm,
I'm like,
mhm.
especially if you think you're obstructed, we don't let those patients eat. He's like, no, trust me, this will work. Didn't.
Trust
And then
trust me.
And then after that, the other attending on who was pregnant was like, oh, you need some Miralax. So she gives him two servings of Miralax, and he puts it in Pepsi.
Oh, I forgot about this. I blocked this
He
piece
puts
out of
it
my
in
mind.
Pepsi, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she's in there. She's like, that's disgusting. He's like, what do you mix it in? We're like, most people do water.
Water.
Yeah.
Apple
Maybe,
juice, water.
maybe an orange juice or an apple juice, but
Brain
Pepsi.
juice if you're feeling froggy.
but you mix it in brown Pepsi,
Mhm.
Ew.
bubbly Pepsi. When you're like, I have an obstruction,
Oh,
I'm like, we
It's all
definitely
coming
don't.
back.
We definitely don't advise bubbles.
Yeah.
And so then he's like, then I start burping, and I don't know why, because he drank 2 whole Pepsis, and he didn't just like sip it, like he like mixed them and like took it like a shot, like he was at the bar. I was like, do you want to like
This story
see
is
if one
bad.
serving maybe helps before? No, we're just going to drink 2 whole Pepsis and 2 servings of Miralax at once. Cool. And then comes around the other smart attending now. And he's like, oh, a nurse had the same problem. I gave her a Zyn, put it in. And I'm like, that sounds like a bad idea.
That's
You
going to make
don't.
you vomit.
Right. I'm like, that sounds like a bad idea. 20 minutes later, you had gone to like see other patients on other units, and you come back and you're like, Abby, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. I gotta go to the ED. And at this point, I'm like, do you still have the Zyn in? And you're like, do you think it's that? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. So then he takes it out. He takes out the Zyn. And then like 5 minutes and then like 5 minutes later he's like, yeah, that helped. And I'm like,
That's
cool. I was like, are we gonna
Imagine
start
that.
listening to me? And he's like, now he's burping. He's like, I keep burping. It smells like poop, Abby. I got an obstruction. I'm like, again, obstructions don't form in 24 hours. So I don't think you have an obstruction. It's the Pepsi and Miralax that you just chugged that's why you keep burping. And then I get a text. He goes off to see some other patients. And then I get a text. Can you bring a green bag to the elevator?
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
You have left out very key parts of this.
Oh, yeah,
story.
It was the ketamine. It was the ketamine.
Yeah,
It was the ketamine.
It was the ketamine.
So then I have to bring a throw up bag because he's starting to like spit up. And he's like, I just gotta go home. I'm like, yeah, you've done this to you've taken just a normal constipation episode and made it so much worse. And then I come into work. We're supposed to work together the next day. I come into work, different attending, not super happy. And then they're all like, yeah, Haas is in the ED. And then I'm like, oh, does he have colon cancer? Is that why he has an obstruction? And I text him. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was so mean to you. And making fun of you. Let me know like how you are. And then he calls. He's like, yeah, it's just severe constipation. I'm like, I take it back.
Okay.
You deserved that.
That whole thing. And you said that the other attending was pregnant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So imagine feeling like that every day, but you're also carrying a child and you're working.
I don't know
God,
how y'all
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. Or, maybe you're constipated and you're, having to walk around bleeding all day.
But I almost died that day. Like that's how I feel. I thought that I was going to die.
Don't take away from true survivors, okay?
Yeah,
don't take away from them.
I survived that was traumatizing for me that day.
You know what? You did survive. I did not stab you because
That's
I
right.
was.
So did that scare
so
you
close.
enough? Do you just take like some of your relax every night before you go to bed?
No, but it's not that. But you know,
prevent
when
no
she,
bowel
Or
regimens?
not,
when she reminded me that, Abby,
What's
I
the
think
lesson
it was
learned here?
The lesson learned is that the green bag part was probably the most embarrassing because, like, you just saw me do these stupid little spits in there. And
Yeah,
you're like,
they
this
was just like. It wasn't like. It was.
Something a tissue could have done.
Yeah. And at that moment, I was like,
Yeah.
but
You
guys,
are
I
right
really
though.
survived.
You are right though about healthcare professionals because, like, if I get a twinge of like upper back pain, I'm like, I've got an aortic aneurysm.
That's what I'm saying.
about to
You
burst.
know too
About to die.
much.
I was convinced I was having a STEMI maybe like a year ago because I was having like chest like pain right up here, and then my arm went numb, and I thought, oh my God, this is it. And then the morbid side of me was like, I'm gonna die. I can end all of this right now. This is fantastic. And I was like,
That's usually
no.
me. I'm like, yes, okay, let's do
no,
this.
it was a
Yeah.
pinched nerve.
Let me get my
regrettably.
ketamine for a CT scan.
Yeah.
That resident
because you were just
forever.
in so much pain.
He's a hero. He was a hero that day. He saved me. And forever, he'll pass his fellowship without even seeing a patient.
I was going to say, he gains no benefit from it either.
No. But now whenever I see him, I give him a hug, and I think it's awkward because he's like, you were just constipated, bro. And I was like, bro, like, thank you. That's how I felt, though. I really, that was it. Because I had the numbness, and then the pain. And I was like, how many of those patients do we see with STEMIs? They came in and they're like, oh, I thought it was just indigestion, and then they're 2 stents later.
Can we talk about what most of those patients also have in common that usually complain of indigestion pain as opposed to regular chest pain?
They're men.
Are they?
Yeah,
No, they're
Usually
women.
it's the women that
Women?
have
Nine-
indigestion pain.
9
Oh,
times out of 10.
I didn't realize you were
downstairs,
talking about true medical
Yeah,
findings,
yeah.
and not just
Indigestion
like
and nausea?
who
GERD.
complains.
You
Yeah.
always see GERD for all those
Yeah.
cabbage patients, and every single one
Mhm.
that's a woman, you always see GERD.
And you're like, why didn't you come into the hospital? Like, well, I had to get the kids to school. I mean, I had to go
no,
get groceries for the week. I mean, I had to go clean. I had to make, it's like,
right.
and the men are like, oh my God, it's the worst pain ever. And it's like,
But I feel like there's a community of us out there that have survived something like this that I would like to get together.
you should join.
because
You guys should make a
Okay.
support group.
I really think so.
Um,
And
Get some t-shirts.
but what's
get some
even
merch.
worse now
Right.
is that my wife will never believe me ever again. Like when I'm
No.
actually going to die. Yeah, when something is
No.
really going to happen, she's like that time you were constipated. That's what I hear all the time now.
Yeah.
So now I'm really
Constipation
worried.
Anonymous.
Yeah. Just GI.
Shameful.
That's a great
my
God.
story.
The
Yeah.
best too was the attending doctor that was pregnant and gave him the meds. They're like very close, and they missed a large part of the story throughout the day. So then when I saw her again, and she was like, wasn't that just, I felt so bad for him, and then I filled her in on my perspective, and she was like, he's an idiot.
Ah!
But that's why I leave all those parts out, because it doesn't have a
You-
good enough effect. Because but I mean, the duck walk, though. Now I
You
remember
forgot
that.
we
I
walked. I
forgot.
made him walk like 4 times. I'm like, you're going. He's like, can we be done? I'm like,
It was such
one
a
more
nice
lap.
day too. I remember
It was a
that.
very nice
It was
day,
a very nice day.
Mhm.
So that
great.
also led me to I fully support ketamine for all intubations. Like it
Yeah,
was,
okay.
that was a trip.
You're like, that
Maybe
was
that
fun.
should be a podcast idea. We go to one of those ketamine infusion places.
Just the 4 of us were just in there.
That used to do palliative care, does it?
Mr.
Yeah.
Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we tell the story of Tammy and the C. diff pod and the tacos? Should we?
Yeah, why not? Oh my God, that one was bad.
That was bad. So we'll have a nurse. We'll call him Tammy for short.
Tammy Lynn.
Yeah, we'll call him Tammy. We had a back pod that was the worst. Oh, so in one room you had spit fistula C. diff. The second room you had another C. diff. The third room, an innocent bystander who just really got the into that deal. And then the fourth room was a severe bowel obstruction on a larger individual. And then Tammy's pod partner just so happened to love to order a 12-pack of family tacos and keep them on the desk and eat like a taco an hour like it was a PRN. And Tammy's patient with the bowel obstruction had been profusely vomiting all night, just feces. And they were trying to get an NG tube in to decompress, and they couldn't get one down far enough to do what they needed to do, and kept vomiting, and it would hit the walls. And I thought, and I can't remember who was like, God, that pot is bad. So I went over there just to see. And that in Tammy's room had it lined with Chuck's pads. It looked like he was training a litter of golden retrievers how to go to the bathroom. You've never seen, like you couldn't see the floor. It was just all pads. And I didn't know about the taco thing, nor did I know about the C. diff. I thought it was just funny. It was just lined up. So then at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting there charting, minding my own business. And Tammy walks down the hallway and goes to the staff bathroom that's right behind me. And you just hear the door shut and just toilet flush. Toilet flush. And then after about 10 minutes, opened the bathroom door and was just gray. I mean, probably a potassium of 2 at this point from all the vomiting he just did in the bathroom. And I said, "Did you just yak in the bathroom?" Yeah. So then I'm like, I should probably go tell Charge that, Tammy's yakking in the bathroom. And they're like, "Well, he didn't come up to me and tell me, so I'm not going to go ask him." And the provider at the time was like, "Well, you got to think he's got a spit fistula, 3 C. diff patients, a bowel obstruction, and his pod partner's eating 14-hour of course. And it's probably been a year and a half, was in complete denial, was like, "No, it was the worst headache of my life. That's why I was like, nobody's going to think any less of you that you were throwing up in that situation.
Yeah.
Anybody would have thrown up. Like, no, I had a terrible headache. I thought I had a
Yeah.
subarachnoid. Ugh.
Yeah.
And then
Well, they
finally
also
within
don't eat and just chug a C4 like every 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yes, that is correct. And finally, within like maybe the last 2 months, said, "Yeah, I had a headache, but it was the smell of everything." And I was like, "Thank you.
Oh.
That's all I've ever wanted you to admit, that it was the smell and the
Oh, Tammy.
situation of all that." But that's a very Tammy-esque story God, that just sums Tammy up perfectly. Just complete
How?
denial. No,
How
it
are
was a
they
headache.
eating? I had a
I
patient
don't
who
know.
had C. diff, and the family rolled up with the tailgate special from Bojangles, and it ate it in the room. And
Mhm.
I was disgusted. I was so disgusted. I just
If you
couldn't even
can't
believe
smell
it.
it, it doesn't bother you.
I
Uh-uh.
was so disgusted. I was like, in the room with your yellow gowns, y'all are just, digging
Hey,
into
Nothing.
this. And I'm just getting this
Nothing
patient
goes
on and off
good.
the bedside commode. I was like, I don't even think I ate lunch that day. That's how disgusted I was.
I hungry.
Mm.
Oh, God.
Nothing goes good with C. diff like a biscuit and a chicken supreme. So
Oh,
I guess
God.
that's another positive to my inability to smell. It doesn't bother me. I can do it.
There you go.
That's funny. That was a good story.
Oh my God. Well,
God, it was terrible.
we clearly would have stories for days, so maybe we'll do a part 2 in the
Yeah,
future.
we'll
Yeah.
rein it in.
I'd love
Yeah.
to get some people comment on your most
Mhm.
traumatizing or funny poop story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Honestly, one day I'm gonna die that way in the unit with you guys, and you guys will be like, "Oh, he's just constipated." But then I died. What
No,
will
that's
you tell
how you
people?
hope to die, so
Yeah,
that you can, so
That's
that you
exactly.
can be vindicated. That you can be
Yeah.
like,
I was
I had a
right
pre-
all along.
Yeah,
you're going to be like,
you
see,
put
I
that
had
right
a
on my tombstone.
I
Right?
had a premonition that this is how I was going to die, and that first
Yeah.
time was the premonition, and now
Mhm.
I'm actually dying.
But
Mhm.
you
But it's
guys,
fine. I'll drop, and I will shove that NG tube down without
but the best
Kennedy.
part that you guys would love is the attending. We all love him. He was on nights, and he's like the nicest dude ever. So when I called him to prep ECMO, when I asked him the next day, I was like, "Hey man, were you prepping ECMO?" He's like, "Did you actually want me to bring a circuit downstairs?" I was like, "That's what I was expecting." But again, it was good times. I was really worried though.
I was not.
He got off the phone and told the ABP that night. He's like, "The house wants me to bring a circuit downstairs." He's like, "Maybe we'll just wait to see when they work him up what's actually happening." But
Okay.
I mean, I made it.
Makes
He
me
ma-
think a little less. All right.
But you should have seen me that day. You would have been worried.
No, I was there and I was not worried.
I don't know. I was pretty
I
worried.
doubt I would have been.
I really doubt any of us would have been worried, but we're
No,
also the worst
the
for that.
the Miralax and the Pepsi.
You'll be fine.
Oh my
Yeah, you forgot
that
about
was
that.
I forgot about that one piece.
You just
And that
ate
upper
that
decky.
pasta, chugged that Pepsi,
God, what an awful combo. Spicy pasta and Pepsi.
and then the
Already.
Zen.
The Zen.
Ugh.
Oh, the Zen.
God, even Tammy wouldn't do that. Tammy knows better than to do that.
Fuck all this education right out the window. Just
Yeah.
just nothing at that point. Just fear.
That's great. Great fear response.
Yeah.
Well, please share your favorite stories. Tell us
Mhm.
which of ours you liked, and
Mhm.
share your own, and we'll share some on our next Code Brown podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Don't forget to double
Bye.
glove.
Yeah.
Double
Mhm.
glove.